Heart and Soul Homestead family, welcome back. Um, Man, this trip was quite the challenge. Right here, you see me and shout out to Uncle George, shout out to Ronnie for their help and support throughout the journey. It was a long one. It was supposed to be a 16, 18-hour trip with, you know, the dog and the stops and fuel and multiple vehicles, but it ended up being a whole lot. Right here, my truck started giving out, so we had to put the travel trailer on the U-Haul. Thankfully, we had the U-Haul with the attachment. Now, the issue was that this tow hitch wouldn't fit all the way in. There was a bar, a little cross member back there that wouldn't let it fit all the way in, so we had to flip it. Right here, we're trying to get the bar to turn it around, and even then, we weren't sure if that was gonna work, but eventually, after another L, another lesson, lo and behold, right down the street was a tire shop. So I went ahead and took this thing off, walked on over there, and asked the gentleman to go ahead and help me, if he can help me disassemble or take the bolts off with the power machine, which was nothing to him. He did that thing in just a matter of seconds. Flipped it for me and kept on. He didn't want to accept nothing, but I, forced a little tip in his hand, and it was good. We were back on track. But it was definitely a hassle, and delayed us a couple of hours, but ultimately we got it done. We just weren't giving up. There it is. And that's it. Attached. We didn't compromise the integrity of the tow hitch or the strength. We bolted it right back the way it was supposed to be, just upside down. But same bolts, same ball, same everything. It was good. Back on the road. And after several hours, here we come pulling into the storage in Florence, Arizona, still about 3.5 hours away from Douglas, where we had to kind of unload this truck to make room for the stuff I have in storage there. And as you can see, that means having to remove the travel trailer, let it sit while we unload the truck, and then, carefully unload and load everything else that's on there. We had some glass, some mirrors, some fragile things, so we just had to take our time, but still moving at a good pace. Right hand man right here. We were getting it done. As you can see, some stuff kind of tilted over, but there was really no way around that. My wife needed her plants delivered. There was other options, but we wanted to make sure that we got all that over there. So several years ago, used to do moving and hauling, commercial and residential, for professional organizers and for myself. And at this moment, that's pretty much the feelings that came back, and just the reality of me getting older and just not up to certain things when it comes to physical labor. Not that I won't do it, don't get it wrong now, but just the tediousness of unloading and loading and making things fit without breaking anything. That in itself was, it's a big task at hand. So I'm definitely glad that I don't have to do that no more. And God willing, this will be the last time I do this right here, because I don't miss it at all. Finally, we wrap it up. about 30 minutes away from the property. So I'm just soaking in the view while my uncle was following behind in another vehicle. And here we are. After several hours of struggle, we loaded the container. Next morning, back at it again. So I had this kind of lean-to rafters that I built that I had back at home that we already kept plants under, that I figured, hey, let's make a temporary little situation for your plants because of the wind, because of the sun. They need to, you know, get a slow introduction to this new environment. And so I said, why not? Oh, and this is the other thing. I forgot all my power tools, like all of them. So all we literally had was a couple of nails, a hammer, old school, which was no problem. I had just had to think a little different and be strategic without damaging or putting holes in the Connex boxes. So what I did was I took these three 2x4s, I spread them out, and then I nailed those together, the length of that Connex box right there on the left-hand side. And I used some straps, and I looped them through those holes in the corners to kind of hold the beam, right? It's a beam now, across, and then level it as best we could so that we'll have something to attach the, the little rafter things to, or the shade, whatever you want to call it, makeshift. And then put the end of that on these three pillars right here, bearing the weight, creating some shade and the overhang. So that was the plan. Huh? That's what I'm gonna look, but I'm trying to think.
If you put a rope right there, mira, si pones un rope right there and a rope over there, and then you got a 2x4 and put it in the middle as a support.
Yeah, just hang it.
No, but you put it in the middle for support.
What do you mean?
You're gonna put a rope across and you put the wood against that, right?
Yeah.
And then put another piece of wood in the middle for support.
Yeah.
Oh, you can use the ties too. You can use the ties too, my brother.
Use the ties.
Yes. As a
And
hook.
then that way we can tie them nice and
Nice and tight. No, nowhere. They use the two red ones. Hey, yeah, basically you get horses and shit, huh?
All right.
Chickens, cows, horses, couple cows for the milk.
Right here, slowly but surely, I'm just, prepping the rope, attaching it, the strap, have them get on the other side, alternate, getting it up to the highest point. So that way we'll have an attachment point for the overhang.
Top of the hook. Put it top of the hook.
No, even if we don't do the top of the hood.
Oh, it's evil. I mean, I love it.
During this process, I even told my wife, I actually feel like, we're actually homesteading and utilizing what we have on hand, not having bought anything. I think I just bought a box of nails because I ran out. But outside of that, everything you see here, we brought from home. I've had this overhang thing. I put it up at the house about 8 years ago. So it's been hanging in there. And the feeling of not having to spend and still get something out of it that was useful was a big plus, was a big deal for us. We felt very resourceful at the moment. It's not perfect, but, close enough for a temporary thing.
Watch.
And my uncle came up with this idea right here, putting these on the back end, shoving them underneath, nailing them, and then putting the bottom end on the lip as a support system, just in case those straps happen to get loose or give out. You never know. And the last thing I need,
I have some shorties.
is that overhang to fall on my wife's plants. 'Cause it'll be all bad.
Can't hurt yourself, bro. Hey, he almost lost his finger, so you too. Yeah. Pool table.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the pool table. We did it pretty fast.
Here we come with the first part of the overhang. I took it apart in two pieces, separate pieces, and I didn't break it fully down, as you can see, because I didn't want or didn't care for having to put it back together the right way. So I figured if I can take it down in two pieces, that'll be easier than all these separate pieces. I didn't want the plastic to break, so thankfully it made the trip, and we got both pieces there safely. So this is the first one. I think it's a smaller one of the two. They weren't exactly down the middle. So the basic thought is just, pick it up, throw that other end on the top of that lip right there. Meanwhile, that front one, those front two pillars, line them up just to hold it while one of us levels the end, or levels those two 2x4s on the Iconics box to nail it in. And then repeat the same thing on the other end with the other ones, and then level those posts so that we get it as straight as possible, distributing the weight.
Yeah, but I want to nail that to the wood.
Yeah, the brace.
Yeah. So
Get the ladder. Get the ladder.
I want to work with this one. That one I can do
No,
nothing
the reason I
with.
was going to put that, I was going to put the ladder here so I can set it. You know how it's going to be. The weight's going to be on me. You guys do that. So if I've got something I'll put the weight on.
This 8-foot pallet I brought from home, and we just used it to brace this section right here, just in case.
Hey, what are you doing?
On that side, we're gonna go down a little bit. You're gonna need to hammer that side in, okay? And I'll hold this side while you do that. Once you do that, I'll come on this side and we'll do the same thing.
What are you trying to do?
All right, come on the other side because the weight's still too heavy. You got one else? Got one. Let's put it there. That should be enough. Go into the middle. So
That little gate right there up against the Connex door was perfect because we kept that out here to keep the dog out of the area of the chickens. So we figured, hey, we use it out here too, and for critters or whatever that would be attracted to the plants, or just a barrier. Free, can't beat it.
you got it, or you want to do it?
nail in it because there's no wood in it. It's down.
Now we get the other one. Put it next to it.
Hey, this one first. Raise it over here before you do the other one. Raise this.
Right.
Yeah, do whatever you need to do, but raise this first.
Why, is that right there up on there or something?
No, it needs to be raised in here. Here, yeah. Put nails in here, yeah. Straight up.
Oh yeah, that's why I had it before. Screw it, put it. Look, it'll hold right now.
Look, we're gonna use that over there. We're gonna use this over there. I don't know what's wrong with it.
Just talking about how we gonna brace it, and these little itty bitty nails I had a lot of, which were something else. And I think soon after this, I sent Uncle on his way to go pick up a box of real nails.
Go to the city. 25 minutes away to buy a nail.
I was just there. This is the second panel right here. At this point is when it starts coming together, looking like something. A quick note: you see that plant taking a little bit of abuse there. What I'm figuring out is that clear your workspace, move everything. Then you got that ladder behind me, and you'll see that go down. Again, all these tripping hazards. I gotta be more intentional about clearing my workspace so I don't damage or break something or hurt myself. At this point, we kind of know what we got to do. That middle is kind of bowed down. And I think one of those pillars was actually shorter than the other, so I had to like swap them around. But eventually we got it done. I had to do a little digging underneath some of the pillars, I think the outer ones, and then put rock on the middle one.
There you go.
We used a leveler, and eventually it came out. You'll see at the end, you tell me.
All right, you got it? Bring it back.
Again, temporary.
But you know, that don't even matter because that's not even breaks to nothing. So we're gonna have to do that. It gets back. Put it back.
At this point, we're just about there and leveling it out. As you can see, here I'm filling up my water temporary shower. And here it is. Using that outdoor shower to water it, why not? You gotta be resourceful, you gotta think outside the box. You gotta get your plants that water. Came out good. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe, like. Till next time. Bye.